Can you tell me a little bit about some of the artists that you work with? You mentioned Lil Baby, you mentioned Nicki Minaj. Tell me a little bit more about sort of your roster and how you have to have a different approach with each of them. It can't be like a cookie cutter, right? It's not like a template. And so I'm
Right.
sure you being so tapped into culture, you understand that better than most. So
Right.
can you give me a better understanding of like who you actually work with as far as your
Right.
the artist roster and how you approach working with each of them individually?
Okay, cool. So, like, I worked really closely with QC. So they have like Migos, Little Yachty, City Girls, Baby, and like one person to kind of pull out of the bunch is Yachty, right? He's not this hardcore rapper. He's not talking about, a lot of the things that a lot of people are talking about. And he has kind of a unique style, right? He's colorful. He doesn't mind having his nails done. And I think he takes a complete different approach to hip hop, right? Because his fan base, I go to his shows and it's insane to see the kids in there. It's not just who you would think. Like, he has fans from everywhere, from just older, younger, just all over the place. And I think for me, having to be able to understand that this artist isn't just in one lane, he's in multiple lanes. So how do we kind of create different ideas that he doesn't feel like it's only speaking to one demographic of his fan base, right? Maybe that's too culturally leaning. How is that going to appeal to his fans in China or in Asia, or, so forth, versus you having somebody like Little Baby, right, who is deep in Atlanta. He's talking about Atlanta. He wants to be in Atlanta, and I think he loves Atlanta, and that's his approach, right? So a lot of things, it has to be authentic to what he's used to, his surrounding, where he's been from, his comfortability level, right? Versus Lil Yachty, he might be more open. He kind of was in New York a little bit. He didn't just kind of stay in Atlanta. Versus you got City Girls, who's from Miami, and they're not your traditional females, right? They from Miami, they're from Florida, like, they are how they are. And I think their approach is like, this is how I am. I'm not really open. And I think just being able to have that educational process, like, I realize every artist is different based off their backgrounds and just their journey. So for me, I really just try to understand and learn the artist first. When I first meet them, I don't even want to talk music. I want to learn you. How are you as a person, right? So I understand my client, how to move with them, so I don't ever bring anything to you that's like, why would you even bring this? You know what I mean? You should know better. Like, I think a lot of times people miss that step, like really learning your artist, learning the clients that you've worked with. Outside of QC, I've worked with like also R&B artists. So like now I'm working with Bryson Tiller and Ryan Trey, and like Ryan Trey is an up and coming artist, and he's so talented. Like, this kid is insane and crazy. And I think for him, it's just understanding that he wants it so bad, right? So when people want it, they start to become frustrated. And I think being able to understand that you just got to allow him to see just how things take time. Like, I think people just see things on TikTok and things think it just goes viral. And it's like, no, this kid's been making music for 7 years. You just didn't hear none of his other stuff, right? And I think for me, it's just really understanding and learning the artists. I love hearing their stories. I love hearing about how you were raised, how you were brought up. How can we utilize things that make you unique into a campaign that can speak and inspire people, right? So that's just definitely something I feel like my approach to different artists is really taking the time to get to know them. These people, like artists, they're literally like, no one asks me how my day is. No one asks me my struggles, what I went through, like how I am as a person. And I think that's so important, because how can I sell your music and put it out to the world if I don't even understand you? You know?
Right. And I think that just, that level of empathy and just humanity of each other, right? Like, because I think we don't ask each other that. Like, when we ask someone how you doing, do we actually mean it?
Right.
Like, are we actually ready for that response?
Right. And it's like, even if they said, I'm not okay, what are you going to do? Right. Mm-hmm. Like, even if people felt comfortable even opening up about their problems, like, how do we even offer a solution for that person? Like, I was just watching a podcast. It's called Pivot. I don't know if you heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just did with an NBA player. I can't think of his name. And he was saying, how much do people got to cry out for help until y'all help them? Mm-hmm. And I think that's very important. Like, we have to understand that we're all going through things. And I think a lot of the times these celebrities want to be seen as people. And I understand that. I've never been somebody who's kind of been celebrity shocked. Like, oh my gosh, this is whoever. I've always seen them as normal people. And I think that they care about that the most. When people want this one version of you, they want to just see you dolled up and they just want you to be this one person. You start to respect the people who are okay with you not having to be on that stage. You know,
Mm.
to be okay with you just being who you are in the comfort of your house, not wanting anything from you. I think that's important, especially in a world where you got fans like, you don't post anymore, or what's going on? You don't love your fans. And it's like, no, I might be going through something. I might, you know what I mean? And just understanding that they're human.
Thanks for listening. If you like notes from this episode and more, head over to drjaewilliams.com and download Dr. J's Gems. I got notes from all the episodes, helpful resources, and curated content exclusively for my Office Hours fam. Absolutely free. Yes, you heard it right, free. So check it out. You never know. You just might learn something new. And remember, you are what you've been waiting for. Talk to you soon. Peace.